Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another inspiring live chat. Today, we're honored to be joined by a remarkable woman whose journey represents courage, purpose, and community impact. She is the reigning Mrs. Global Universe Africa Brave 2025, former Mrs. East Soweto 2003 to 2024, a dedicated mental health advocate and a respected radio presenter. Her story of overcoming depression through pageantry has touched the hearts of many, and today she continues to use the platform to empower women and uplift communities across South Africa. Please help me welcome the incredible Sharleen Jones. We're excited to dive into her journey, the power of pageantry, mental health awareness, and what it truly means to be brave with purpose. Let's jump right in. How are you, Charlie?
I'm so blessed to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me for us to engage in a chat. Thank you so much. I'm beautiful today. I'm loving the rain in Gauteng. It's absolutely, you just want to be at home and just chill. The weather's beautiful.
Okay, that's lovely to hear. So my opening question to you is, your story has inspired many across South Africa. Can you share the moment you decided to turn your battle with depression into a public testimony and advocacy platform?
Definitely. As a beauty queen, people often saw only the crown, the smile, and the confidence. I was fighting a battle no one could see. I always felt explaining to close friends and family would make me weak and unworthy. And I came out publicly because that beauty, success, or confidence means someone is immune to pain. I wanted to use my platform to show others that vulnerability is not a flaw, it's a form of strength. Speaking up wasn't just about me healing, it was creating space for others to do the same. I wanted to remind people that mental health doesn't discriminate and that asking for help doesn't make you less of a queen. It makes you more human, and that's even more powerful. So me coming out, it was just about, there's so many women, especially women that single mothers that have kids and that feel scared to come out and, to speak about mental illness, not only women, men as well. So I just felt being in the space that I am, why not share my story? And I could save so many other women that was experiencing the exact same pain that I felt.
How did entering pageants contribute to your healing journey, both mentally and spiritually?
Thank you. When struggling with depression, it's not easy to lose touch with one's sense of purpose or confidence. Entering pageants, it provides structure, goals, and a reason to push self-doubt. It it encourages you to get out of that mode. It builds your self-confidence. You connect with other women because then you also realize I'm not the only one that has issues. I'm not the only woman that has problems. So also with my with spiritually, I choose joy every day. I tell myself every day how grateful I am, how special I am, how beautiful I am. And I also connect with God. I make it a point where I go to my Bible every day and I read a scripture just to remind me, you know, how good God is in our lives, in our everyday life.
As Mrs. Global Universe Africa Brave 2025, what message are you most passionate about delivering on the international stage?
No, definitely. I am most passionate about sharing my personal journey of healing, identity, and purpose through self-love and empowerment. Africa is home to countless of women who carry stories of resilience, faith, and transformation. I myself went through so much of transformation through my pageant journey. It wasn't just to remind women everywhere, regardless of your background, you know, also to encourage women that anything in this life is possible if you just put your mind to it.
Wow. Many women suffer silently with mental health challenges. What early signs should loved ones pay attention to, and where can they seek support?
I was very ignorant about mental illness before it happened to me. I couldn't understand what was happening to me because um, early signs is, you're very frustrated because I lost my husband in 2020. And I
Oh,
didn't understand how to deal with the pain. And early signs was I was extremely frustrated. A lot of sleep. You just feel like you just want to constantly sleep because you don't know how to deal with the pain. And also, you just want to be, you want to be alone. You don't want to be in a crowd. So yeah, that was the early signs of how I experienced mental illness.
uh, pageantry today looks very different from traditional stereotypes. How do pageants empower women beyond beauty?
Remember, the pageant space has evolved so much. Back in the day, it was all about how skinny you are, how tall you are, you know. But the pageantry space has evolved so much. Now it's height is no, it's irrelevant, weight is irrelevant. So it's got so much to offer. It's all also about giving back to our communities. If you are in the pageant space, it's all about how much can you give, what the difference you can make in your community.
Representing South Africa at the Mrs. Global Universe pageant is a huge responsibility. How are you
Right.
preparing mentally, socially, and emotionally for this chapter?
It's about, I tell myself every day, what is my why? I need to know why. What was my why? Why did I enter Mrs. Global Universe? Because I was chosen to be Mrs. Global Universe Africa. I always need to know what was my why. And my why was, encouraging our younger generation to tell them that, you're never too old to reach your goals. Anything in life is possible only if you put your mind to it. And also self-love. I think most of our young girls and our young boys, because I think sometimes we concentrate so much on our young girls and we forget about our young boys. That is my reason for starting my organization called Sharleen Jones Cares Foundation, where I also want to monitor the boy child, get mentors in to speak to go to schools to speak to our boy child. Because remember, we need to raise our boy child to be to love our women much more because of our GBV violence in South Africa, not South Africa, Africa as a whole. So yeah, my why is just to make a difference, ultimately make a difference in my community or Africa where I can assist.
As a radio presenter, you connect with communities daily. What issues are women speaking about from the most right now, and what solutions do you believe we need?
Wow, that is such a beautiful question. GBV, GBV is one of the biggest topics. Most of my the females present sorry about that. My females guests they always hump on the issue of GBV, where they come from abusive relationships. Even queens that enter pageants, they suffered at the hands of their husbands, someone in the community. So GBV, and I just see, like I said, we need to train our young boy from a young age to say, you need to love women needs to be respected, respect needs to be mutual. If a woman says no, you need to respect that.
The balance in family, advocacy, media responsibilities, and pageant communities must be intense. What practical methods do you use to manage burnout?
I always just, I always remind myself to take a deep breathe. I always do my breathe ins daily. Affirmations is vital. It's so important. And planning ahead, planning ahead, it helps me so much. It helps me keep sane and also praying a lot, being at the hands of the Lord and asking for guidance. And yeah.
All right. What advice would you give to young girls in townships who believe opportunities like yours are out of reach?
I would say to them, like, 5 years ago, I was in such a dark space where I was a widow, I had two small kids, and I felt like giving up. So I would encourage a young girl, never give up. The sky is the limit. But if you go through something currently, take a deep breath and tell yourself this shall pass. Because remember, nothing lasts forever. But we always need to work on our dreams, and we need to believe in ourselves. the most important thing. We need to believe in yourself. And affirmations, I can do this. I can do this. Affirmations all the way.
All right. I have my final question to you, and then I'll get to the comment questions as well. All right. My final question to you now is when you look 5 to 10 years ahead, how do you hope your platform will have impacted South Africa and perhaps even the global pageant community?
Okay, so like I said, I opened my organization called Sharleen Jones Foundation. Currently, I'm working a lot with the elderly people. I just feel like, because when I started my joining with Mrs. eSoweto, I started working with the elderly people at an old age center, and they just touched my heart in so many different ways. And because sometimes we only think that young girls and young boys are going through the most, but our elderly are also going through so much. Because remember, some of them are still raising their grandkids. Some of them are being
Mm,
abused at the hands of their own kids. So they're going through the most, and I just want to make a difference by even if I can save someone's life for by giving them kind words for one day. If I can do cook for 20 people in 1 week, it's small things in life that makes a difference. Yeah.
all right. Now let me get to this comment question here. This is from Jitin Rishika. Hi, Charlene. You are strong and beautiful. Another common abuse is dominance in the work front, where women are forced to work under such circumstances because they are the breadwinner or single mother. Hmm.
So a question is like, how does she cope with that?
Yeah, that's a good. Okay, let's type that out. I guess I should have. I guess it's just maybe, and maybe it's just adding into what you said, maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, unless you want to add to that. Oh, okay. I guess no. I think when I was asking what's your question, she said yes. I don't know if this is a question or not. Unless you want to add
Okay, so
into what you said here.
okay,
Yeah.
can you just repeat the question for me, please, so I can just understand it?
Sure, sure. Hi, Charlene. Okay, says you're strong and beautiful. Okay. Another common abuse is dominance in the work front, where women are forced to work under such circumstances because they are the breadwinner or single mother. Yeah, and here's the question: how does one cope? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. It is.
Oh,
How does one cope?
you know, how does one cope? Definitely it's not easy being a breadwinner, looking after your kids, being a single mother. It takes a lot of courage. But what I would say to you, how do you cope? It's, just take it easy, be calm on yourself. Because you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your kids. Remember, they're looking up to mommy. The only thing
Mm,
they see, they don't see mommy as weak, they see mommy as being a superhero. So remain the superhero that you are. Never ever, remember, never ever give up, because they are your reason. You are their hero. So continue what you're doing. I know it's not easy, but things are going to get better. Remember, nothing lasts forever.
mm.
Weeping lasts for a while, but joy comes in the morning. So my advice to you is just hang on there. Things will get better, definitely.
All right. All I got to say, thanks so much for your time. And yeah, and I was telling you fair. Hopefully, this is the first of many between us.
Well, thank you so much. It was such a beautiful interview. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Bye.